Welcome to Adoption Matters, a podcast with real people sharing real stories and getting real about adoption. I am Sally Ankerfelt, an adoptive parent and one of your co-hosts, and today I also have along with me Sharon Butler-Obazee, my colleague and co-host and an adoptee. We're excited to be here today with you so we can explore difficult topics, share frank conversations that are guided by our commitment to truth-telling and truth-seeking. As you probably, if you have been here before, you probably know that in each episode, we discuss important issues using adoption-attuned principles to help us navigate even the most sensitive topics with grace and respect. So together, we seek to model courageous communication and to help create a community where anxiety can be reduced. And isn't that important today? And mutual, courageous communication can take place and understanding can prevail. So whether you're an adoptee, a first or birth parent, or an adopted parent, or a member of the adoption constellation, we're excited to share our stories, insights, and support. Thank you for joining Adoption Matters today.
Thank you, Sally. Today's going to be an interesting podcast because we're going to revisit the interview that we completed on Mother's Day last year. It was well received and a lot of individuals asked us to post it again, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Just to remind you, this is an interview where we talk to all members of the triad. So we have birth families, we have adopted parents and adopted people talking about their experiences. And we ask them actually, what comes to mind when you think of Mother's Day? It's an intriguing conversation, and I think you'll enjoy hearing this because this year, May 10th, we celebrate birth families or birth mothers, and on May 11th is Mother's Day on a broader sense for everyone. So we're going to have this recording, and you'll have a chance to hear those interviews again. Thank you for joining us today. We're looking forward to hearing your responses.
Hi, my name is Katie. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I am a transracial international adoptee from Bogota, Colombia, raised by white parents in South Florida. For me, as an adoptee, Mother's Day, when I was younger, was just kind of something special that I did with my mom, my adoptive mom. And it wasn't until I got older that I really realized, wait a minute, I also have a birth mother out there. So in maybe like 2011, 2012, I started lighting a candle for my birth mother on my birthday. And then I started realizing I also need to do that for her on Mother's Day. So I do that as well. And then if people didn't know, within the adoption community, people consider the Saturday before Mother's Day to be Birth Mother's Day. There are some birth mothers or birth parents who don't like that. They believe they should be able to still fall on Mother's Day. But there are some birth parents who are like, I'm fine with that. It's a special day to honor me. So I've thought also about lighting a candle on that day for my birth mother, as well as general Mother's Day, because I do think of her as my first mother.
When I think of Mother's Day, I am filled with mixed emotions because due to my extended stay in the hospital with nurses taking care of me, I did not recognize that I had a mother until I was introduced to her at the age of 3. We both had a period of adjustment, and I eventually fell into place, calling her Mommy with the rest of the siblings. Mommy was a fantastic cook, and our home was filled with aromas of down-home Southern foods, delicious desserts, and all kinds of cakes and cookies and bread pudding, rice pudding, sweet potatoes and pies, etc. At these delicious smells attracted the neighborhood families who were more than happy to stop by and consume the delectable meals and desserts that Mommy so gladly and generously offered to them. So when I think of Mother's Day, what comes to mind for this event is reminiscing the happiness, fellowship, laughter, and warmth that my mother extended to everyone who came into her presence.
Hello, I'm Bonnie, and I'm an adoptee, proudly. I want to give God thanks and all of the praise for just watching over my life, all of my life, and even from inception. I want to thank my birth mother. Unfortunately, I never had the opportunity to meet her, but I want to really thank her for allowing me to be born. And I really appreciate the fact that she recognized her inability to raise me responsibly. So she made the decision to give me for adoption. And that brings me back to my adopted mother and who I call mom. My mom selflessly had taught me all of my life how to be a strong, responsible, moral individual. And that's who I am today. And then for this, I want to say thank you, Mom.
Thoughts by Susan, a first mother. Mother's Day for me is all the milestones I've missed in my son's life and the time I will never get back. It eats away at me every day. I'm in reunion now, coming up on 2.5 years, and I don't think there's been a day that I haven't cried. I just want to be his mom. I love him with all my heart. For me, Mother's Day is excruciating. I hate feeling forgotten, and I hate that I'll never really get to be in my son's life because he lives so far away. My most challenging months are in May and June. I'm too poor, which is why I couldn't keep him and relatives adopted him. He has a good life, which is what I wanted, but it broke my heart and I weep regularly. Hi, I'm Angie and I'm a birth mom. My son is going to be 28 in July. Mother's Day is hard on me because I know my son is giving praise and thanks to someone else, and I don't really think she knows how hard it was for me to place him. I went round and round with the decision, and it seemed in the end I was forced. Yet I know today he is doing well where he is at, but the day is still hard.
Good morning, my name is Zena Cooper, and I am an adoptee. Mother's Day, as an adoptee, when I was growing up, I remember my adoptive mother being showered with candy and flowers, and her husband would always give her a beautiful, like a nightgown set, and it was always something really, really pretty, lacy and all that. So I was like, well, when I get older and I'm a mom, I hope I get that too. But I didn't get that when I got older. So I guess, people that have, celebrate Mother's Day, they all have their own views of how the mother is to be celebrated. Hey.
Birth mom. When I think about Mother's Day from the adoptee perspective, I met my biological mother, and I don't have anything nice to say about her. She lost me and my siblings due to her addiction. When I met her, she was still in her addiction, and she was being manipulative and playing the victim card. When I think about Mother's Day from the birth mother's perspective, I miss my babies every day. Both times that I was pregnant, I was homeless, and I did not plan these pregnancies. I decided in my 9th month of pregnancy with my first that adoption was the best thing for my daughter. So I contacted the adoption agency in my area, and they helped me create a plan for her. When I found out I was pregnant the second time, I was thinking about adoption from the beginning. I knew that I wouldn't be able to give the baby what they deserved and needed, but that didn't make it any easier. I went on an adoption website, looked through the prospective couples' profiles, and found the perfect match for my son. While my decision to place them for adoption were not easy to make, they were the best decisions I've ever had to make in my life. Both adoptions are open, and I'm happy to know that they are living their best lives, even if it's not with me. Thoughts on Mother's Day by Sabrina, a birth mom. Mother's Day has been hard on me for most of my life. On Mother's Day in 2004, when I was 11, I found out my mom had brain cancer, and the following Easter she passed away. I'm now a birth mom, an angel mom, and a mom. I try to keep my mind off all the wrong Mother's Day brings up by keeping busy with my sons.
Hi, I'm Tisha Lene, and I'm sharing as a birth mom. When I think of Mother's Day, I think about the magnolia tree my dad planted for me one year because I named my daughter Magnolia. I think about the fact that Mother's Day was the last day I saw my sister alive, and that she was technically a mother too because she was pregnant with a baby boy when she passed away, who she was going to name after the adoptive father of my daughter and our dad. I think about my mom and how much she has endured with losing 2 children in all, and how I have technically lost a child too via rejection. I think about how my mom is the only person left in our family who seemingly wants to have a consistent relationship with me. I think about how I have only seen my daughter twice on Mother's Day, and how one of those times she made a big deal with wanting to see me. That time she gave me a bunch of small gifts. I hope for and I wish for more magical Mother's Days like that one.
Mother's Day has been a day that I used to wish would leave the calendar silently. In 1992, I gave birth to a beautiful baby boy. I placed him in the arms of a stranger, hoping he'd have a life I couldn't give. Each year around April, his birth month, and May, my heart would ache. Some years were easy, and some were hard. My mom knew Mother's Day was hard and didn't expect much from me. Most years, I pretended Mother's Day didn't exist. One year was tough, so I spoke to the person I was involved with. They responded, "I can't believe you've not gotten over it by now." I felt he cut my heart in two all over again. My son's teen years were hard. I knew where he was. He was so close I could touch him, but opted not to. I quietly told the adopted mother I would approach him while he was in school. I kept that word of not approaching him for many years, even after graduation. In 2011, I became a mom again, this time without being separated from my child. Mother's Day became a day of joy and sadness. I love being honored by my second child, but still miss my first. My first child had graduated by then, so I knew nothing about him. My firstborn has been back in my life for a year and a half now. My emotions are still mixed. I love having both boys, but my firstborn's heart belongs to the woman and the mom who raised him. My heart is bursting with joy that I'll hear from my boys during this time, and it makes me so happy. However, it's still mixed with sadness, cause for my first. I may be his birth mom, but I'll never be the one that he has first in his life. Whether his heart is broken or full of joy, I'll always be the second or third or fourth place. Although I understand, and I wouldn't want it any other way, my heart will still silently ache for the baby I gave away.
Thoughts from Lori, a birth mom. When I think about Mother's Day as a birth mother, I feel a mix of emotions. It's a day to honor all mothers, including those of us who made the difficult decision to place their child for adoption. It's a time for reflection, and for me, sadness. I think about my mom every day. My mom passed away 15 years ago, and I miss her so much. On Mother's Day, my thoughts turn to my role as a mom, but it's also a day that prompts reflection on various aspects of motherhood. It evokes memories of sadness about the child I placed for adoption, even in reunion. Additionally, Mother's Day is a time to celebrate and cherish the relationships I have with the child I parented, highlighting the complexities of motherhood. Thoughts about Mother's Day from Stephanie, a birth mom. Hi, my name is Stephanie. I am a birth mom, and I have 3 children currently living in the home. I grew up with a mother in the house, so Mother's Day has always been difficult for me. When I think about Mother's Day, it's easy to stir up old feelings of abandonment and guilt. But the life and support group that I have today makes it easier to be grateful. I'm grateful for the adopted mom who takes such wonderful care of my son, and I'm grateful to know where he is. I'm one of the lucky ones. I'm grateful to be rebuilding my relationship with my mom, and I'm extremely grateful for the kids that I have at home and being able to parent them every single day. Mother's Day is about celebrating the difficult choices that we're faced with every day. It's easy to forget a mom that only had to make one very hard choice. But as birth moms, we live with that choice every day. We are reminded of it this time of year more so than others. Mother's Day from a birth mom. Mother's Day is actually a hit or miss for me. My daughter is in her 40s. It was a closed adoption. It was my decision at the age of 17 to put her up for adoption. I have only ever had one update when she was 2 years old. Unfortunately, they didn't send any pictures. As I get older, I still don't have any regrets. I just wish things had been different. Thoughts on Mother's Day by a birth mom. I sure wish we were having these conversations years ago. My daughter is in her 40s. I was 16 when I was forced to place her. The month of May has and always will be painful for me personally.
Thoughts on Mother's Day from a birth mother. I forgot I'm a mom most of the days, honestly. I think about my son every day, but I forget I'm a mom until my friends and family are wishing me a happy Mother's Day. I think about my son a lot and get really sad. I miss him tons. I wish his adoptive family and I had a closer relationship, but we don't, and I'm getting through it. I haven't seen him in 6 years, so Mother's Day is hard.
When I think of Mother's Day, I immediately think of the mothers who no longer are with their birth children or have been separated from them for any reason. I also think of the mothers who are no longer with us, but their presence continues to support us and uplift us as we go on life's journey.
When I think about Mother's Day, I think about all the love I have for my children. I think about my mother, who despite her cognitive disabilities, was able to raise me with the help of care mom and my dad's mom. I think about my grandmothers, who had a huge hand in raising me and how much love they gave me and how I love them. I think about the son I placed that I didn't even know I had until I was birthing him. I think how it has just been a couple of years later now and how difficult the decision was, even though I knew I had to make it. I think about his mom and the gift that she was given and how eternally grateful she is to have a child. There are so many different ways to be a mom, and I hope everyone remembers to celebrate each and every mother in their life.
I think about Mother's Day with all my children. I'm a birth mom and I gave up 3 for adoption. I have met 2, but my daughter has never reached out. She is 20 this year. I recently had a stroke and want desperately to meet her before I die.
Hello, my name is Ashley, and I'm really happy to be able to participate in this opportunity to commemorate all birth moms, but especially mine. I was adopted at birth, and I remember when I became of age to do some of my own research in searching for my birth family. And I remember the day that I came across my birth mom's Facebook page. And when I saw her face, I literally cried because I felt like I looked just like her. And I was just so motivated to want to try to learn more about her and connect. I'm happy that she accepted my friend request and was willing to meet with me and get to know me and have that experience together. And I know that that's not always the case when it comes to children who are adopted. And over time of getting to know her, I realized there was so much between us that were so similar. And like my mother who adopted me always says, there's nature and there's nurture. And she would always tell me there's some things that are just innate that comes from your birth mother that I didn't instill. They just came from her. Just so much about our personalities and interests. And so I'm happy to be able to share that with her. Being a social worker and a former caseworker within the child welfare system for over 10 years, I understand and recognize how difficult of a decision it can be for any parent to have to sign over their rights to their children and to place them for adoption, regardless of the circumstances. And after spending time with my birth mother and knowing some of the history and the things that she was dealing with, she made the best decision that she thought was right, not only for me, but for her life and what was going on at that time. And I'm forever grateful. I never wanted her to feel as though I was angry or upset or anything like that, because I've had a very good life. And it was because of her handpicking of the family that I would go to. It was because of her love and her strength to take the time to just do her research and connect with programming and agencies in the area that would support her decision. And so I just want her and any other birth mom that's watching this to know that you are selfless in what you've done for your child. Never let anybody make you feel bad about your decisions. I know in my situation, I'm forever grateful. And I am a person of faith, so I do believe that with God, all things are possible. And in my situation, I'm just so happy that I have this relationship that I have with my birth mother right now. Working in the system, I know that that's not always the case, and it's not always a happy ending. So to be able to make a message like this and to encourage my birth mother and others, I'm just so happy that I'm able to stand here and be able to express how I feel. So to my birth mom, I want to say Happy Mother's Day. I'm forever, forever thankful and grateful for you. I love you so, so much. And this day does include you too, because you are a mother, regardless of the circumstances. Happy Mother's Day.
Wow, that was an interesting series. I'm just so glad that we published it again, because the reality is that even though times change, our feelings about the past and our experiences don't. So I think, really it was, even though it's a recording that we're redoing and republishing again, those experiences are felt true to their hearts. And I just hope that these ladies are in better situations than they were at the time that they recorded the last incident or the incident before, and have improved their lives in some way or possible way,
Yeah. Yeah, I was struck again by the vulnerability that these people showed and were willing to put out there in the world. And I think it really shows me again that holidays like this can be layered for a lot of people. And there was joy expressed, there
Yes,
was longing expressed, there were complicated feelings. It's all over the map, and that's a good reminder that places, events like Mother's Day brings a lot of different things for different people. So, uh, wonderful that they shared, and we thank them again for taking all that time to do it too.
absolutely.
Taking their
Yeah,
time and their energy.
yeah, a lot of energy and a lot of time and the commitment. And we just want to honor mothers who are with us now. Mine's not, but are with us now. And Sally, the same for you. Yeah.
I'm not. Yep.
So we just want to honor all the mothers and their families, and we hope that they enjoy this holiday.
Yes. So we want to thank all of you for listening to Adoption Matters, a podcast with real people sharing real stories and getting real about adoption from all three perspectives of the adoption triad. We would like you to help others find this podcast by leaving a rating on your preferred podcast platform. If you'd like more information about growing intentional families together and how our adoption coaches can help you and your family, feel free to sign up for a free coaching consultation at giftfamilyservices.com. We've enjoyed being with you, and we invite you to join us again next time for another exciting episode of Adoption Matters.
Thank you for joining us.